Warning, the following stunts are done by trained professionals. Actually, we're not trained. Robbie is just a dumbass and decided to do a drunken fantasy football podcast. The thoughts, opinions, and takes are ours and ours only. It is not our fault if you lose in fantasy football or sports gambling. Viewer discretion is advised.
What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the one and only Rumboyz Fantasy Network. It is your host, Rumboyz Robbie. We have an exciting show for you all tonight. Going to be getting ready to put a bow on what a wonderful NFL season it has been. What a memorable season it has been. We're going to recap some of our favorite moments. We're going to talk about some things that are going to be going on. We have an action-packed show for you, ladies and gentlemen. But first, want to give a shout out to our sponsors over at Shop GLD. Take them to the yacht, show them some of the products that we got. Dilly, y'all.
I bought in Miami when I'm landing, got no understanding. Out of here, I'm burning, or turn me up, you can't understand. In the club, posted up, they lit up, no matter where I'm standing. Shop GLD for the Cuban link, yeah, you see it there. Might spaz out on some taller shit, no one zero tolerance. Money conversations ain't hard to relate, it's hollering. See my net, they acknowledge it, good friend, girl, when you're not.
And we are back. All righty. So without further ado, we are going to bring up our crew. Taco will be joining us a little bit later, so I'm just going to go ahead and get that part out of the damn way. He will be joining us as the show progresses. Very busy. Phone's been going off with our sources. So let's go ahead. Let's get our homeboy up here. Ladies and gentlemen, drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop the mic, FF.
What it do? Let's get this party started. Let's
go. Robbie, your boyfriend returns to the cage. Yes, Izzy does return to UFC Saudi Arabia. We will be talking about that. I'm just going to go ahead and let you guys know that'll be coming at the end of the show. So don't worry, we do have some UFC talk for you, ladies and gentlemen. Look at my coach. So inspirational. Has no oil, but we will focus on his football. Oh my gosh. Let's go ahead and get into tonight's show. But before we do, cheers to me, cheers to you, all the Rumboyz and girls. What it do? Dilly.
In honor of the state of Colorado, cracked, fresh open, Old Elk.
Nice. Colorado, everyone just thinks like breweries. Whenever they think about like Colorado and like drinking, like the drinking scene, because like we do have the most breweries.
Breweries
in the whole U.S. But we have some really, really fine distilleries. So like if you guys are out here and maybe like the whole craft beer scene isn't your vibe, check out some of our distilleries. We have way too many for me to name. Mike, feel free to shout out that one again.
Old Elk Bourbon.
Got it. Oh, I've had old Elk before. Let's jump right into the show. Again, another cheers. Cheers to me. Cheers to you, all the Rumboyz and girls. What to do, dilly. With the way that the world is, we all need this drink right now.
Mm-hmm.
Drama in the NFL world has seemingly just swept over one situation in particular. Fuck, give me 1 second, man. I got a call coming in, Mike. One moment.
Jacksonville, the community, Duval.
Mike, I don't know what the fuck that phone call was just about, but Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen just called in to address the media, us being media here, for the first time, and that was his warm welcome to Duval. Presser aside, his former team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are blocking him and the Jaguars organization from the ability to be able to hire candidates from that Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization. Thoughts on the situation, and is this petty or not? And of course, reactions to Duval. By the way, I do just want to toss out that both the coordinators of which we are going to be talking about that would have been available for hire. One was with the University of Kentucky with Cohen, and the other was with Cohen. I want to say, God, it's escaping me right now.
Rams and then Tampa?
Rams. Yes, Rams and then Tampa. I do. I was like West Coast, what the fuck? Like I know the West Coast team. But yes, Rams and then Tampa. So clearly these guys are like super attached to the hip to Cohen. They've been with him through his journey. What are your thoughts on this situation with that added context?
All right. First off, I'm doubling down on what I said last week about this being a wacky-ass hire after this Duval. I'm double downing on that shit. Okay. It was weird, whatever. We all know that he told Tampa that he was coming back as OC because of the Balky sitch. Then Balky went bye-bye, and he took the job. Is it a little petty? Yes. Do I completely understand, and am I okay with it? Abso-freaking-lutely. Tampa Bay feels like they were hoodwinked. I have no problem with them denying certain, all the people that they, asked. The one that not surprised me, but the one that kind of gets me like, really? Like, just let him interview is a guy from Kentucky, because he's known Cohen for 20 years and he's coached with Cohen off and on for 20 years. So like that's one that I'm like, I would probably be like, hey, you guys are buddies, figure, if you come back, you don't, whatever. I did see on Twitter that I can't remember his last name, but Ari, you know who I'm talking about. Ari on Twitter said that if it's for a higher job, like a higher rank, if it's a certain higher, they can't block it. So we'll see. I understand, obviously, Jacksonville trying to get these guys. I understand Tampa doing it. Is it a little, prima donna for Tampa to block them? Yes. But I'm surprised this does not happen more.
I feel like it doesn't happen as much because there is that degree of the Billionaire Boys Club where kind of like unspoken rules amongst themselves. I mean, at the end of the day, this is competition. I think that this is super egregious because of when we talk about this particular instance, and I think that kind of why it doesn't happen, more often is because this was kind of done in a fucked up, sneaky manner.
Yep.
Cohen pretty much just, after signing an extension to come back to be the offensive coordinator, started sending them to voicemail, started ignoring their calls. We've all had that X where, hey, things are starting to get towards the end, start to get a little rocky. You maybe start forwarding a call to voicemail or to you. You start off not even forwarding it. You just let it go and ring. And it's like, and then when you finally pick it up, it's like you finally got the balls to be like, yeah, you know what? Like, I don't think this is going to work out anymore. And that's exactly what took place in this situation with Cohen. So I understand the Buccaneers being like, no, we're going to block your request for offensive line coach Kevin Cranberry. We are going to block your ability to get assistant offensive line coach Brian Pachucci. I'm sorry. Yes, Pachucci.
Yes.
There we go. Okay, I did get it right the first time. I was like, I'm Italian. I definitely know that I said that right, but I had to like look over because I was like, is there an L at the end? Hold on. Chewy at University of Kentucky, Cranberry, with the Rams. When we talk about these positions of which they are blocking, offensive line is where the game is won. In the trenches is where the game is won. No, I'm not letting you take that piece from this team, from this puzzle. I think the Buccaneers maybe would have been a little bit understanding if it could have been a different position and anything not offensively linked, especially the core, the nucleus of the atom that makes that matter work in Tampa Bay. I think that has a lot to do with it, is the dynamics of who it was, how much rapport that they have with Cohen, and so on. If I'm the Bucks, is it petty? Petty as fuck, boy. Petty as fuck. But would I do it? Yeah. If I'm cool with the potential next suitor for my ex, I'm gonna block it too. I'll be like, hey, bro, yo, like, I'm gonna make up lies about her. I'm like, yo, she got bad credit. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm gonna make up lies. Like, I'm gonna do something. Like, you know, I'm just saying. Let's see. Tampering -10. I'm dead. Well, the crazy thing is the Panthers head coach took the whole offensive staff with him, and Cohen replaced it all. This is true. This is true. Infidelity. I'm dead. Hey, if in a job interview getting offered 10 plus more million and the highest boss in the place, best believe your call's gonna send to voicemail. I'm dead. It's okay. Kevin O'Connell has 28-year-old only head coach. It has a 28-year only head coach offensive assistant. He's coming. And yeah, and the Bucks, they ended up going with they ended up going with the assistant that was left over in Gizzard. So all as well for Tampa. Anything else interesting about Duval? Because this situation is weird.
Not about. I mean, like I said from the beginning last week that I'm kind of curious about this hire. There's nothing more. I need to see what happens in free agency and what happens in draft before I give any more thoughts on this roster.
Yeah, I want to see kind of what.
And I want to see his staff. We're not talking about other. Are we talking about other staffs tonight?
Maybe we might have some time. We might have some time to throw.
So I'll hold what I want to say, but like another situation that we might bring up later, I'm interested to see the staff that is brought around Cohen, and that's when I will give my opinion. Like I will give my opinion. I will give my opinion later about another team, but that's because they've done what I need to see these guys do first.
I don't think that the Jags, especially now with Balky being out the building, I don't think the Jags for Cohen as least, huh?
I don't think they're in a hurry to completely fill the staff because they still need to fill the GM.
I don't think that and I don't think that they necessarily at this juncture really need to be, because Cohen was such a hot name in the coaching carousel. One, we knew that he was going to get one of the many jobs. We knew that he was maybe top 3 guys that could have gotten a job, or that it looked like they were going to maybe separate from their previous situation. As soon as Balky was out the door, like I told Aiden, even through Snapchat DMs, I was like, yo, like they're gonna go after him. Like when Aiden messaged me, he was like, dude, Balky's gone. All right, I think I had messaged him first. One of the two. Dialogue, tomato. And we both kind of, brought it up like, yo, this is definitely the all in on Cohen. They're getting their guy. I always felt that this was going to be their guy. I'm interested to see what happens. To think that he doesn't get a very well-versed coaching staff put together, and he doesn't, maybe take the next 2-3 years to really take this thing and kind of build and develop. I think that this actually becomes a pretty desirable destination. I mean, especially for upcoming free agents, especially for upcoming rookie prospects. I think this becomes one of the many more desirable destinations. And I think we start seeing that a lot, especially when we talk about taxes and things of that nature. Fuck, you mean to tell me I get to play in Florida?
That is why Tyreek wanted to go to Miami in the first place.
Tyreek has 13 kids.
Hey. At least he knows their names.
This is 100% true. He does, yes. This is 100% true.
Yes, it is.
This is 100% true.
You know why that is? You know why that is? Because Khan is gonna do that. Khan is a smart owner. He might dictate business in certain situations, but Khan is not going to be Jerry. Khan is not going to be Steve Tepper. Khan is going to let football people do football stuff and let him do business stuff.
No, and that's one of the things I can actually appreciate about Khan, and that I have appreciated about. Forget all the other nuances about, like the report card in the offseason about like the stadium and like the staff,
all that.
Forget all that bullshit. When it comes to like the top of the level, I feel like that Khan is aware he has to bring in guys to be able to do the job. I just think that it's a matter of time before they just get all the dominoes to fall in the right place. I think with him kind of taking that approach, like you just mentioned, I'm not going to say that it becomes a Josh Harris, Magic Johnson type situation, because you're going to hear it right here from the horse's mouth. That is a once in a lifetime fucking thing that is going to happen. That is I'm sorry, but teams don't just get sold, and that team had to get forced to get sold in order for that situation to happen.
I know it's a different situation, but your team in Washington is the NBA equivalent of Donald Sterling going to Steve Ballmer.
Yes, it is that equivalent. There is, kind of you brought up how Khan isn't going to be like some owners. The weekend filled us up with sound bites. Pause.
Oh Lord.
I want to get your take on this.
There's a very low percentage of this that is smiles and glory holes. Very low percentage.
Jerry Jones, when referring to the hires of Brian Schottenheimer as the head coach, again, who had no interviews throughout the whole football universe, not only on this floating rock, but possibly anywhere fucking else. And then also bring in Eberflus. He says, and
There's
I
a
quote,
very low percentage of this that is smiles and glory holes. Very low.
what are your thoughts? There's a very low percentage of this that are all smiles and glory holes.
Do you know why I'm holding the number 3?
Because of a topic that we're going to talk about later?
That's the amount of times the word glory hole came out of his mouth in the entire thing. He did not say glory hole once. He did not double down. He went all in on the word glory hole.
At least he went all in on something. Jerry went to them Diddy parties.
Yeah. So, also, I want to add to this discussion that they just hired an OC who was the offensive line coach of the freaking Arizona Cardinals, who didn't have an offensive line. Good job. Okay, good job. Okay. So.
And then he also said that he always dreamed of being a coach.
And he also, but then Jerry also said, I would not, he's made a comment about something to the extent, I didn't hear the comment. I heard another podcast talking about the comment. He doesn't want people to call him Brian. He wants them to call him Shoddy. So, Shoddy. It sounds like I'm trying to say Shody, but Shoddy.
Shoddy.
Shoddy was not, okay. When I hear Schottenheimer, you know where I'm going with this.
I think Marty. I think of his dad.
When I hear Schottenheimer, I think of my old coach, Marty Ball, freaking Schottenheimer. That's all I think about. I don't think about Brian, even though Brian was a decent OC for Pete Carroll. However, stop talking about glory holes if you don't know what the new glory hole definition is in 2025.
Oh no,
Glory-
I'm pretty sure that old decrepit senile old fart of a fuck knows exactly what it
I'm
means.
telling you, I don't think he does. I think he thinks a glory hole is the same thing that it. I don't think there's got to be some boomer essential boomerism.
Listen, if Robert Kraft knows what $2 sucky sucky special is down in Florida, then Jerry Jones definitely knows what a glory hole is.
Well, what the fuck?
Let's remember. Last year he referred to man meat.
True. Okay, this
is America's team.
Okay, I'm gonna keep this short and simple because I'm sick of Jerry. Jerry will be Jerry, and the Cowboys will be shit until Jerry is not a part of the team.
Nah, Steven's still going to be there.
But I would, at this point, but here's the problem with that. Like the Raiders, we had to give Mark a chance. And Mark proved that Mark was out. But I was okay giving Mark a chance because we had to see if Mark can prove himself. I am perfectly fine giving Steven a chance. Hal Steinbrenner needed to be given a chance after George Steinbrenner started going senile at the end, and Hal proved for a little bit that he could do it.
Can we just agree that
where are you going?
Over a certain age, old people should not be in charge of fucking shit?
Okay, I'm going to compare it to this. My mother-in-law has a very stout opinion on something. And that is at a certain age, no matter how good you actually are, the DMV should strip your driver's license just because of the number.
Just because of the number.
Are you saying that we should do the same thing with ownership and decision making?
With everything. Like this is just hot take.
It's not hot take. I don't think it's that hot take. I think it's true.
Yeah, what you like just with anything though, like the same way that we view like old people in driver's licenses and being on the road is the same way that we should like respect your elders 100%. When you need to be in a home, you need to be in a home. And Jerry, you need to be in a fucking home. It's at that point with Jerry.
I mean, he could be Bill and could be dating 26-year-olds and having their 26-year-olds in charge of recruiting. Is
that what happens when like dudes get old? Like they try and relive their heyday? Like it's creepy.
Ask Robert Kraft.
Holy fuck. By the way, everyone viewing at home, I hope that you are all having a better weekend than Deshaun Watson 2.0. I mean, Justin.
No, I was trying to avoid that. You see what Sleeper did now that you brought it up?
What?
They did it last night and then they removed it overnight. But for like 2 hours, his name was Justin Tucker.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I did see that.
Justin Tucker. That is so wrong.
Can I? Because we're clearly gonna have to hit air time to.
We got air time. Where's Taco?
Yeah, fucking. All right. This is like the second time in 4 years. Like athletes, fellas, like
of all people, a kicker.
A kicker. Like when I saw like a kicker, I was like. And then when I saw it was Justin Tucker, I was like, no wonder you were missing field goals throughout the season. Maybe in the back of your mind, you knew that this was coming out, or this scathing article about you has been coming out. I mean, this was something that I believe has been spoken about before, because I believe the charges stem back to 2011. So there is that part. So like there is kind of this whole thing of like, well, like, you know, this is all like, you know, kind of came out like before, like. Why are we bringing this about out now, you know, or kind of like you know, type of deal. Timing of it does seem weird, but I mean, at the same time, like, guys, like if you're getting a fucking professional massage, get a professional massage. Like, Jesus Christ. like get it together out there, boys. Fuck, keep it in your pants. That's all I wanted to say about that. Like, I cannot show either of those last two comments from Leaves.
Well, let me go look.
There is something happening in the world of football this weekend. Obviously, the thing that we care about the most is Senior Bowl. We're going to talk more about Senior Bowl on next week's episode of Rumboyz After Dark because we kind of want to see, the rise and fallers. I've been hearing a lot of chatter about that. Maybe we get a little bit into that tonight. God, this is why. Duval. But in the professional football world, it is Pro Bowl weekend. And interesting takes have been kind of flying around surrounding the event. Everything from former players and even media pundits, even former players turned media pundits, have kind of thrown out everything and proposed everything from just completely doing away with the whole damn thing, which I don't know exactly how I feel about that. I understand that standpoint. And then some have even said, maybe move it to like the middle of the year since we're already talking about adding a second bye week. You get the bye week kind of after it, Alexa, alarm off, kind of after everything. What are your thoughts on, the Pro Bowl and the NFL, and how should the NFL handle it moving forward?
All right, I'm going to quote the great.
Do we even need one?
Huh?
Do we even
no,
need
I'm gonna quote the great defensive edge rusher who was on a certain show on ESPN earlier this week. That is JJ effing Watt. He's a beast.
JJ Watt had some very big words to say.
The quote that I'm going to use that he used, because I didn't hear the whole thing that he said, but the one line that he said that was very poignant to me, and when I thought about it, I knew you'd bring this up tonight. And that was, this is turned into the participation bowl. When you're going 4 or 5, Mahomes wasn't elected into it, but Josh Allen backs out. And then Josh backed out, and then Lamar backed out. So
Jaden backed out.
But just in the AFC alone, I'm going to ask you a question because I already know this answer. Because if you say yes, you're dumb.
I think Terry backed out as well.
Are you really going to tell me that Russell Wilson deserves to be in the Pro Bowl?
Okay. I'm going to answer your question directly, but then follow it with a but.
Okay.
No, I don't think that he should be in the Pro Bowl. But I understand having someone kind of be the backup, it going to like whoever's, next up most in votes.
Well, I get that, but I'm just saying he's not a Pro Bowler.
He's not a Pro Bowler. I think that there needs to be a clear delineation between, hey, this person is a Pro Bowler. This is who actually got accepted to
and
it.
They're not giving that it's a replacement, but Drake May's the other one. Drake May had a bad year.
But casual fans aren't going to remember, they're going to remember the participants of the Pro Bowl.
Tyler Huntley, perfect example of 2023. Huntley had no example of being in there. This is, okay, trying to watch, I didn't watch any of the games like live or anything, but I saw the highlights. Trying to see Justin Jefferson catch a goddamn ball with mascot hands was not entertaining, was stupid as hell, and I don't care what people think.
What I think is about that whole farce. Ahmad had like a crazy like catch that he did. I think that whole thing is kind of, they're trying to make the catching competition into the NBA slam dunk competition, which in a way I'm kind of okay with this. I'm
okay with the try a dunk or try a catch onto a mat, because I remember watching that last year.
Yeah,
try a crazy catch onto a mat. But just trying to catch a ball like on the sideline with freaking mascot gloves, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I am going to propose. the idea of doing it halfway through the season, F it. Because a lot of times there's guys that don't do good or solidify. For instance, Brian Thomas Jr., I don't know that he would have been a Pro Bowler at week 8. But throughout the whole season, he deserved that recognition.
Yes.
Okay. So I would not, because it's a short season, it's not a sport that, to me, you can do it rightfully so for the players to do it halfway during the season. What I think they should do is I think they should completely get rid of the game. Get rid of it. But still,
so you're not okay with it being 7-on-7 or even full 11-on-11 flag? You're not okay with it being I'm okay with it being flag. I'm
okay with it being 11-on-11 flag, not 7-on-7. But here's the problem. A lot of contracts
that hurts my feelings.
But
continue.
Here's the reason. And this is purely because of this next statement. A lot of contracts, past and present and current and future, have to do with, hey, if you make the Pro Bowl, you get a $250K incentive. Or, hey, if you make the Pro Bowl, you get $100K. Due to that fact, and the replacements like Drake May and Russell, those do not go towards that. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But due to the fact that you have that, and players rely on that, and there's other incentives, you either have to get rid of those incentives in current contracts, which you're not going to.
No.
Or you go, hey, once the cycle of current because you have 11-year contract, like Mahomes, he's got a 10-year freaking contract. So you can't do that. What I think you do is you still announce a Pro Bowl team, just like you do an All-Pro Bowl team.
Just like you do an All-Pro team. Yeah.
You announce a Pro Bowl team, and if you want to do an 11-on-11 flag, fine. If you don't, fine. But still announce that team and give them the recognition. And I would honor that team at the honors like they do, the honors, the award show. Bring them on the stage. Send them out to where the Super Bowl's at. So, like, if you're Brian Thomas Jr. and you make the Pro Bowl and you're on Duval and your team sucks donkey penis, you still get to go and enjoy, a party or do an event like that at minimum. And it's at the Super Bowl week. You get to do some of that shit and have a good time.
Speaking of donkey penis, my mom ran into Josh McDaniels today.
What the fuck?
Yeah. She had no idea. She had no idea, but he let it be known who he was.
Well, of course he would. He's a donkey dick. He is the epitome. I'm going to say this, and you can give your take.
He's the epitome of great coordinator.
Shitty head
coach.
He is the epitome. He is the definition.
Yeah, I love how you said donkey dick, and that's what I thought of. It's okay. Every Broncos fan and every Raiders fan feels the same about him. It's only Patriots fans adore him. Which congratulations to McDaniels being back with the Patriots as offensive coordinator underneath Vrabel. But no, getting kind of back to the Pro Bowl thing. I agree with bringing that Pro Bowl team up on the honors. Maybe like having like the slideshow type of thing. I do feel like that there is, at least for this generation, some type of nostalgia that I got to feel as a kid with the Pro Bowl. Are you going to get Sean Taylor knocking a fucking punter out in the Pro Bowl? Again, no, you're never going to get moments like that again, because obviously the Pro Bowl with injuries and so on and so forth, which shout out to the injury and the concussion protocol committee. This was the lowest year for concussions this year. Yep. With those things, when we talk about, and even players not getting the greatest of benefits after retirement, having that extra game of, tackle football, I agree, does not need to be needed. I do think that 7-on-7 full flag, contact flag, that's cool and all. I play 11-on-11 flag, but there is definitely something to speak to of the culture of 7-on-7. We are going to have 7-on-7 Olympic flag football. That is going to be a thing. We do have a Olympic flag 7-on-7 team that is going to be competing in the 2028 Olympics. So, I mean, I do think that there is something to speak towards that side of the football culture, because that is a very big piece of the football culture. I think that the way that it has to be produced and it has to be put on needs to be done a lot better. I don't think the NFL has figured that out yet. And I don't think the casual fan has adapted to that, or even knows about, 7-on-7 and how deep in the trenches that really is. Hell, some of the greatest 7-on-7 matches that I've watched is just, through watching, overtime football, and seeing the high school kids, go at it on 7-on-7s. That's where you get to see a lot of, you get to see the kids from, the top schools in Florida and the top schools in California come together, make a fucking super team and go out there and ball, I do think that just like MLB has an all-star and NBA has an all-star, we need to have those things as well. Can we bring back the fastest man competition? And can we have it feature the fastest players?
So I will say this, and I know you're going this direction. If you watched a Pro Bowl show from 1994, and they had the speed and they had the long distance throwing and all that, I would be perfectly fine with just that. It's the gimmicky shit I don't like.
Yeah, it's the gimmicky, like, and I don't think that that stuff had its gimmicky nature in a way to it for that time period. But I think that if they just stuck with all of the same regular events, let's remove the Disney partnership. We don't need any more Disney bullshit shoved down our throat anymore, okay? Pause. Let's get rid of all like the corporate. Let's do it how we're doing the draft. Let's go to a different city every year.
I say you just do it at the Super Bowl. I say you just do it at the Super Bowl site.
Yeah, yep. Even do it at the Super Bowl, and give different cities an opportunity to, see some of their favorite players and meet some of their favorite players. This is the most relaxed time that these guys get. This is the only time where you get to see, guys at the same position have conversations. Hey man, how did you perfect that swim move so nice? How did you get your rip move style so nice? Hey man, this is where the Pro Bowl is where tight end you got birthed. So I feel like that we do need a Pro Bowl. It is bigger beyond viewership. It is a chance for even, the guys of different teams, to be able to network, so on and so forth. But I do think that there still needs to be a competitive aspect in it. Maybe we make it kind of like the match, where it's like with the match, they're competing for their charities. Hey, give them their incentive if you make it as a Pro Bowl, like as a Pro Bowl, selection. But then also, while you're at the Pro Bowl, hey, if you win your game, or if you actually step on the field to compete in some competition throughout the weekend, and you win, you get X amount of dollars to your charity as well. Just have the linemen do a hot dog eating contest. I would actually pay money to see that. I'm not going to front. I'd pay money to see that.
Could you imagine Creed Humphrey going against like Darnell Dawkins?
I know, like just Sam Cosmi, just like glizzy after glizzy after glizzy, pause. Like, it'd be great. It'd be great. Talking about next gen stats, you see the Senior Bowl saying Dylan Gabriel threw a ball 9 miles per hour. Then the fastest record recorded, Milton, definitely not true. I would also pay to say that. And I did see this. Let's kind of talk about some Senior Bowl stuff really quick, Mike, while we have some time.
Because if Taco comes on, he's not going to know.
He's gonna be oblivious. He's gonna be like, what? What are just kind of some cliff notes that you have, throughout your mind? There's really 3 players that I have notes on that I kind of want to hit on, and that's Shiloh, Jackson, and Gabriel.
Okay.
And big shout to Shepard as well, the receiver, fucking dominant, bro. Like, really popping out on the tape there at the Senior Bowl. What are some cliff notes that you got?
All right. So I'm going a lot more deeper than you are on this one.
Oh, I know
Not-
you are. I haven't gotten like super deep into
No, I
this.
know, and I understand that, and this, it's not a dig at you. I just know that the players that you brought up are comparatively to the guys that I've been looking at the last day are up here, and I'm surface level.
Yeah, like I've been getting into the receivers a lot, like with the last day.
Yeah,
but not enough for me to really give a deep dive.
I'm gonna bring it up. Not to bring up bad shit, but I will bring it up just because I'm going to segue into it. RIP to the people that lost their lives on New Year's Day and New Year's Eve.
Definitely.
Because the reason I'm bringing it up is all the guys on the Senior Bowl are wearing a sticker for Tiger Beck, who played at Princeton. His brother, TCU wide receiver Jack Beck, in the 11-on-11s didn't perform great, but on the one-on-ones he was able to get separation, he was able to high point, and he was able to catch with his hands. He was able to show his catch radius, which I think is underrated for some wide receivers. I do know Jalen Noel, who is regarded as the number 2 wide receiver out of the Iowa State school, out of the Cyclones, had a better week than some thought. So now they think Jalen Noel could be moving up some draft boards.
Yeah, I've been hearing his name being brought up a lot.
A running back that I like, that not saying I like, because there's some running, like Ollie Gordon was able to do certain things, but they're saying that certain running backs, a lot of the running backs, the studs like Judkins and Hampton and Henderson, they're not there. One that I'm going to bring up that I liked how he did when I watched all of his pass catching. I didn't watch all of his rushes, but I watched all of his pass catching, drills and pass block and all that. And we talked about his brother's team earlier tonight. And that is Travis Etienne's little brother, Trevor. Out of Georgia. To me, he showed what I do not think he's going to be a great running back in the NFL, but to me, he showed why he will be drafted. He showed me why he was a 4-star recruit, and he showed me that he could be that 3rd down back, not 3 down back. He showed me that he could be that 3rd down pass catching back that can also show stuff. Devin Neal was definitely another one that could be brought up, but Devin Neal's being brought up all over the place. The other person that I liked, that I saw stuff out of, everyone's talking about Elijah Arroyo out of Miami.
Yes.
But guess what? Yes, and that's great and dandy, but that's not what I want to talk about. Mason goddamn Taylor is showing that the Taylor family is athletes, and LSU is getting another tight end. Mason Taylor is probably in my top 5, and I don't give a shit.
Bruh jumped off the freaking paper this week. Yes, absolutely a big fan of Taylor. Just want to get into. Just give me 1 second.
Oh, and the other thing I'll bring up is Jalen Miller has baby hands, which means
Jalen Miller has baby hands. There's no way to get through this whole show and not talk about it. Like damn near close. Like Kenny Pickett just barely having bigger hands than Monroe. Like just barely, bro.
Barely.
And like the homie Craig, like he he's like super analytical. Not Craig with a K.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Like Craig A.H.
Yeah.
Not
Ruth, the other Craig.
Yeah, jumped on my post and he was like, "Well, technically," I was like, "Just please let the joke
technically
joke." I'm like, let don't always be that person to ruin comedy by being like, "Well, in the literal sense," like no. But yeah, good shit to him pointing out. Yes, he does have just bigger hands than Kenny Pickett. Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart, I think, is easily solidifying his case at number 3. And it would be a shame. I love that you did a deep dive. We're gonna go even deeper after this weekend.
Yep.
And next week we'll be able to have some more reactions to it. Because of course there'll be a game that is played.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson Dart is looking every bit of QB3 off the boards. Gabriel is making a case for himself.
He's pushing.
I feel like Gabriel put a little bit more oomph behind it in the intermediate routes, which I like to see because, when you have Tez Johnson, you're able to just kind of chuck bombs at any given fucking moment that you want. So seeing him be able to work the intermediate routes look nice. But Dart just has he has this ability to maybe not be the most like fastest, delivering the ball out of his hands, but he does it with just enough touch, and he's just so smart with his ball placement and going through his progressions that it's something about I'm like, I like that a little bit more than how Gabriel, it seemed like with some of the intermediate throws where he was, adding that a little sauce on some of those where it was like, are you overcompensating for something?
Did you hear what McShay said about Milroe compared to Gabriel?
I did see that. I did see that, and it was funny because I walked away with that exact same take, and I kind of have been with Dart specifically. With Dart specifically, I kind of always been feeling like it is a little bit of Greg Maddux-ish with the way that Maddux was just smart as a pitcher. It wasn't that he threw the fastest stuff. It's just he was smart. And I think that I'm leaning more towards the like I 90% know that Dart can do that. I want to see what's going to happen during the offseason. I want to see how he interviews. I want to see, when he gets into the room with guys like Mooch and, Jordan Palmer, and they start, breaking down plays and breaking down tape. And I want to see, kind of how they react to that. I want to see their board work, but I think that'll probably be like one of the things that really delineates for me. But I think that QB race got a little bit tighter between QB3 and QB4.
Oh, hands down, and that scares me because you know how high I was on, and Tacos brought it up 3 times on Twitter in the past 2 weeks. You know how high I was on Dart coming in. There was no doubt about it. Shameless plug. We just did a Dynasty Superflex mock draft on Dynasty Nerds. We did the draft right before the Senior Bowl. It just got posted a couple of days ago. But the reason I'm bringing that up isn't to do a shameless plug. It is honestly due to the fact that I drafted Dart in a Superflex rookie draft. I drafted Dart because of the quarterback value at 202 or at 202. The problem is now I don't think he's going at 202 currently. I think he's going in between 205 and 210. And Gabriel, instead of going at the end of the third or the beginning of the fourth, is going to jump up to the end of the second to the beginning of the three.
Teams are going to overcompensate. And we're going to see that during come draft day, during the draft process. We see it every fucking year. So a team is going to jump up. Do I think that we have as many QBs as we're taking last year in the first round?
God, no.
But there are going to be QB needy teams that are going to overcompensate, and that Dart could be a round one of a first round pick, or Gabriel could be a first round pick. I do see some. I have seen some personalities come out and say, hey, this kid could be QB2. I still think that it's 100% Ward Sanders. I think that's the way that it's just the way that the dice rolls at this point. I will definitely study up on Elgma. Sorry, have not paid much attention to your Canadian.
No one has.
Yeah. I don't think that I think the only reason why we have a question at first overall is just because, unlike last year where it was like, yeah, the Bears are going to go and get Caleb Williams. Like, that's definitely going to be a thing. And, like, we kind of entertain the talk, like, what if, what if they don't? Like, I don't think that we have that this year. I think that this year the number one overall is so unpredictable because there are so many different avenues of approach that you can take with the talent pool that is available. In this draft, you don't necessarily need to go and get a quarterback. You don't necessarily need to go and get, a top line receiver. Like it's there's this year I think is more, especially because of how the league played out this year. For many of teams, I think this year you see a drastically different type of draft, position value scattered all over the fucking place. Whereas like most drafts, it's going to be like, okay, QB, they may go to the top outline here. Like, you kind of like can map it out. This year, I think it's going to be very, very difficult on people. Yeah. Said, bro, the guy's making history, 73% completion. Hey, listen, man. I hate to tell you, we live in a country where clearly a lot of our shit is censored at the moment. We don't get stuff from other countries. Fucked up joke. We do have time to run through this topic. There's a very big game getting played 2 weeks from now. Or, basically a week from now. Let's call it a week from now. A week from now. I'm happy that Taco's not here right now because I don't have to worry about anyone giving their prediction either way. Although we already know yours for a certainty, we don't know exactly how mine could favor.
But you also don't know what. Yes, you know my team, but you don't know my opinions on the game, and I'm not going to give them.
Yeah, we're not going to go into the actual game itself. Let's have GOAT conversations.
Oh, lovely. I need a drink.
A three-peat is a possibility for Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs next Sunday in New Orleans in the Superdome for the Super Bowl versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Shouldn't really have to set the stage. You guys already know what it is. What it's going to be. If Patty Mahomes hits the triple, is that enough to surpass Tom Brady as the greatest quarterback of all time? Or are we more so looking at a conversation similar to what we have in basketball, where it's early LeBron, Jordan-esque type of conversation that maybe happens after that? What are your thoughts? What is the fallout should the three-peat take place?
As much as I love Patrick Mahomes, as much as Tom Brady, I despise Tom Brady. As much as all this jazz, blah, blah, blah. Winning the three-peat is amazing. It's the first time it'll happen. First time people 3 quarters in a row. Brady won a bunch, and then it took him 10 years to get back, and all this jazz. He has, I forget, what is it, 7 total? 6 with, is it 6 and then 1?
He has 7 total, but he never got the three-peat.
No, he never got the three-peat. No, this does not put Patrick Mahomes as the GOAT yet. Yes, I love Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs more than anyone. Robbie knows this. Every one of you that watches, if you've watched this show for more than a year, you guys know that I'm a diehard Chiefs fan, and I will give it bluntly. No, this does not put him in the GOAT conversation yet. It puts him on the cusp. It puts him in the discussion. Yes, is it the early talks of LeBron and Jordan? I'm okay with saying that. I'm also okay with saying it's the early discussions of Kobe. I'm okay with that. Here's the thing. This is a quarterback that has only been in the league and only in the league since 2017, has only been a starter since 2018. It's only his 8th year. Yes, if he gets this, it'll be 4 Super Bowls. I understand that. Yes, it'll be 3 in a row. My point with the whole thing is, and I really need to knock on some wood for a second. You never know what can fucking happen in the world of life and the world of football. So he's in the discussion. Is he on the cut? Is he on the trajectory to be?
Yeah.
Yes. Does he have to get 7 for me to assume that he's the greatest? No. If he goes, does what, puts up numbers and does this and does 6, and he's at 5 or 6, but we got to remember he's 28. Could he freaking play till 40 and play 12 more goddamn years? And who knows what goes happen? Or could he also be like Barry Sanders or Megatron or whoever you want to bring up and be like, and I think it's going to happen more often because you have the contracts that you do these days where it's like, hey, I'm 34. I own a part of a baseball team. My wife owns part of a soccer team. I own a restaurant with TK87. Peace out. I don't think he's going to do that, but I'm saying you might, unless you're like super, super competitive and like Rodgers and Brady, where they're so into it that that's their life. And football is the only thing that freaking matters, not jiu-jitsu coaches, but football. Like Brady, I mean, for God's sakes, Brady cared so much that his wife decided to go get a rear naked choke.
God damn it.
I mean, besides that, I could see players not playing as long. So I do think that he could become the greatest of all time. Still to this day, he is not my greatest of all time yet. He's on the trajectory, but you just don't know what could happen.
For me, I think they were more closer, or much more closer to a LeBron versus Jordan conversation. I think that we've kind of been working our way towards that conversation and been in that kind of conversation already when we talk about these two athletes, when we talk about these two quarterbacks. But I feel like we find ourselves even more because the accolades now start becoming this much closer. You have now done something that the other was not able to do. Does that end up, when it's all said and done and you hang your cleats up, is that the only thing that you have? Do we end up having a conversation of you got a 3-peat and and kind of that's it? I mean, it's a weird kind of sort of thing that we get into when we talk about Brady versus Mahomes. Brady, obviously the GOAT. When you win that many damn rings, when the standard across all sports at that given point in time was 6, and when Brady surpassed 6, it was like, oh fuck, like we couldn't fathom that in any sport, especially the NFL. I respect if a 3-peat is done. I don't think that yet I can put him over Brady. I think that when we start talking about how they both did it and how they both went about the job, I think that we start getting into that. It's the same conversation that we're at with the whole LeBron versus Jordan conversation nowadays. It's how the job was done. It's the same reason why Floyd Mayweather may have a better record than Mike Tyson, but it's because Mike Tyson was the knockout artist that many regard Tyson over Floyd.
Can I ask you a question? I'm not taking the 2 years in Tampa into equation because we thought he was the GOAT before that occurred.
Yeah, we knew it was locked in. Yeah.
Okay, here's my question. Yes, people do think that some people, I'm not one of them. Some people think that LeBron is the GOAT. But how much does it play into the fact that I know he played for the Wizards, but how much does it play into a fact that Jordan did all of that with one team, where LeBron had to do it with three teams?
Yeah, with 3 teams. I mean, it's
and like, yes, he was already the GOAT, but he got the 7th. Like, the reason I'm bringing that up is, does Mahomes doing? I would love this. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but does Mahomes getting 5 or 6 with the Chiefs equivalent to getting 7 Brady? You like with the 3?
I think that there would definitely be something to speak to. Unfortunately, this is the NFL, so it is harder to stick with one team. Montana played for 2 teams. Brady played for 2 teams. Manning played for 2 teams. Rodgers played for 2 teams. Every quarterback goes through at least 2. At least Favre, 2 teams. You know, it's very rare to hit that type of success and have that type of success and only play for one franchise. Like, it's a rarity. Cool, yeah, okay, yeah, Elway. I think Elway, yeah, Elway one franchise, Aikman one franchise.
But at the same time, that's a different.
Steve Young one franchise, Marino one franchise.
But a lot of but
Marino didn't win a Super Bowl.
But even if he had won a Super Bowl, I don't want to bring Marino into this discussion. And the reason I don't want to bring Marino into this discussion, and I do get you bringing up Montana. But let's take Montana out of the equation for a second. But keep Brady into the conversation, keep Manning in the conversation, keep Rodgers and keep Favre. The reason I'm saying that is when it's a different era when free agency didn't really start till the end of Montana's career and the end of Marino's career. Free agency is a live, living organism in today's age, and that's why I get what you're saying. So I get that. Would I love Mahomes to stay a Chief forever? Yes. Do I think it's going to happen? At this time, I would say yes, but is it a for certainty? Absolutely not.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think that it's definitely something to keep a pulse on. He said, "No, I have Sammy Ball." Oh my gosh, hell. No, like I think that it's definitely a conversation to keep a pulse on, because I do think that this now becomes the new modern day. LeBron versus Jordan. I think that's why I utilize that example. Hey, Leafs, I know that you're a hockey guy. This is your Gretzky versus Ovechkin, like type of argument. Like,
don't get me started on that argument.
I'm just drawing parallels.
Oh, I know you. No, I know you are.
Yeah.
I know you are.
It's really just simply that any time that you have a great at anything, it's always easy for us to compare to the previous generation or whatever the case. And it's always, as humans, we have this appetite that will never be satisfied. You're going to have some people that are always going to, you have some people till this day that are like, no, Montana's the greatest. It doesn't matter what Brady did. I'm like, you're fucking crazy. Like, you're crazy. Like, I'm sorry, but you're crazy. I used to, until Brady had completely, there was a point in time where I was like, yeah, Brady completely just surpassed Montana. I want to say like ring 5. I was like, yep, this is done. That's in the bag. Like, eventually there comes a certain point in time where you just have to accept the facts are the facts. I don't think that right now we are there yet. A college basketball example.
Of what? 2 greats?
Yeah, of 2 greats. I mean, that's a very long list. That's an incredibly long list because
2 goats that we think are. Oh my god!
Me being a Tar Heels fan,
I'll give you one. I'll give you one, and it has to do with the Tar Heels. there's a lot of people that would say two of the greatest college basketball players ever, Christian Laettner and Tyler Hansborough.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely fair. That's absolutely a fair assessment. Like, yeah, there's. He said Carson Edwards better be included. I am dead. But no, I mean they're like parallels across different sports. It's the same thing. Be ready for it to probably be a redundant argument across like mainstream media. I think that there's still more to be accomplished for Mahomes before we can start really having that fucking talk. Like, let the man enjoy his career first before we go all in on that.
I think we're there. I think we're there to have the discussion.
It's fair. It's fair. I feel like now is when it should start boiling up. Now is when the conversation should start boiling up. Because I know before previous years, people tried bringing it up before, and I just felt like far too soon.
In NFL, there's careers that are 2 years long, but it's only his 7th year as a starter in the league. Come on.
On the other side of the show, we continue GOAT conversations with another player on the other side of the ball in this Super Bowl matchup. We also kind of get into some of these social media narratives surrounding next Sunday's big Super Bowl weekend. And then also we have some best bets for you guys and much more throughout the show. Remember, guys, in the words of Jerry Jones, everything is not all rainbows and glory holes. We'll be right back on the other side.
All in.
After these messages. What?
I'm all in.
All in. All in. Let's get it. Arrgh.
Stick to the plot. They stick to the plot. They stick to the plot. They stick to the script. Sometimes you get what you get, so don't try to do what you shit. Just stick to the plot. They stick to the plot. They stick to the plot. They stick to the script. Sometimes you get what you get, so don't try to do what you shit. Just stick to the funny. You stick to the roast to the riches and hope you don't crash like some dummy. To get to this money, you cut every piece of the pie to find out you sliced into an onion. Now let's change the subject. These niggas who think they got something, but actually they end up with nothing. It's getting disgusting. I'm tired of the fucking assumptions. I'm about to blow up like corruption, so stick to it. Stick to the plan. When you lose it, gotta get it again. Keep it moving, never stick in the sand. Even with tired, like Michelin man. Shit, I know I'm the man, so I don't give a damn about opinions. I'm racking up millions, you stacking opinions. She throwing it back in the back of the venue. Now we taking off in her man and his feelings. Now back to the business. Back to the lab with my niggas. Actually back doing laps in the trenches. It's my second home. I ain't have to go visit. I stay resident, embedded to living the life of a nigga. By day we just niggas. At night we the victim. The life of go get 'em, so I'ma go get it. I stick to my plan. I still on my mission. They stick to the plot. They stick to the plot. They stick to the script. Sometimes you get what you get, so don't try to go into shit. Just stick to the plot. They stick to the plot. They stick to the plot. They stick to to the screen. Sometimes you get what you keep, so don't try to do what you shit. So this is my message. Sometimes you just living in life, be an actor. Don't try to direct it. Now let's change direction. This life that we live for the lesson. Don't count chickens, start counting blessings before they go missing. I promise you, I'm on a mission. I want something, I'ma go get it. No hidden intentions. I open my eyes, saw my vision. Now everyone see that I'm gifted. I'm rapping like Christmas. You niggas just under a tree. I'm smoking it, not metaphorically. I'm smoking no tree, no one's smoking no me. So when I say you're under it, no, that means me. I'm a poet MC and I'm living my dream, hoping that hopefully you see the hope in me. And if you don't, fuck it, cause I'm all I need. Keep my ear to the game and my mind to the streets. I'm a beast. Stick to the #1 mission in hand. Be true to yourself and give your life meaning. And fuck their opinions, they won't understand. To get to the top, gotta give all you got. Only getting one shot, so give up or not until your heart stops. Gotta stick to the plot. Hey, stick to the plot. Hey, stick to the plot. Hey, stick to the screen. Sometimes you get what you keep, so don't try to do what you shit. Just stick to the plot. Hey, stick to the plot. Hey, stick to the plot. Hey, stick to the screen. Sometimes you get what you keep, so don't try to do what you shit. Just stick to the. Hop out in Miami when I'm landing, got no understanding. Out of here, I'm burning, don't turn me on, you can't understand it. In the club, posted up, they lit up, no matter where I'm standing. Drop to your D for the Cuban link, yeah, you see it there. Might spaz out on some taller shit, no one zero tolerance. Money conversations ain't hard to relate, it's hollering. See my net, they acknowledge. Gang with the, gang with the, gang with the, gang. Gang when the cash in, we just scribbling racks out. I made an email for rapping, turn the special with cash cow. I took a chick white black in, fuck the bitch, she tap out. Bad bitch, ass out, cash in, cash out. Gang when the cash in, we just scribbling racks out. I made an email for rapping, turn the special with cash cow. I took a chick white black in, fuck the bitch, she tap out. Bad bitch, ass out, cash in, cash out. Gang when the cash in, road to success on a fast route. You don't really wanna whack shit, I blow this bitch when I back out. I came to get rich and half clout. I lit the city in a blackout. I lit the shit that I rap out. Get pistol whipped if you act out. That's how it go. I seen the shit happen. You don't want smoke, keep the shit rapping. Oh, they got jokes, let's use laughing. I came with a pole, that bitch get to dance and whoa. I woke them up cause they been asleep. I roll around like the Genevieves. My whole squad like the Den of Thieves. Gang when the cash in, we just scribbling racks out. I made a name for rapping, turn this bitch to a cash cow. I took a chick white whacking, fuck the bitch, she tap out. Bad bitch, ass out, cash in, cash out. Gang when the cash in, we just scribbling racks out. I made a name for rapping, turn this bitch to a cash cow. I took a chick white whacking, fuck the bitch, she tap out. Bad bitch, ass out, cash in, cash out. Just sleeping on me, now they woke, thinking of creeping on me and get smoked. We couldn't eat it for leaves, we broke. Shout out to BV and CC, my bros. Rowdy and LBVB for the low. Killing your team, I'm seeing his ghost. Still on the street, cause to me it's my home. My city need me, they need me to go. They loving the flow, they say my shit wavy. I got that dope like back in the 80s. I got your hoe, she acting all crazy. Come to my show, it's back like the baby. So don't hate me, no. Cause I stayed down till I came up. I stayed the same way they changed up. Now I make it rain on these lame dogs. Gang when the cash in, we just scribbling racks out. I made a name for rapping, turn this bitch to a cash cow. I took a chick white whacking, fuck the bitch, she tap out. Bad bitch, ass out, cash in, cash out. Gang when the cash in, we just scribbling racks out. I made a name for rapping, turn this bitch to a cash cow. I took a chick white whacking, fuck the bitch, she tap out. Bad bitch, ass out, cash in, cash out.
Woohoo! Alrighty, let me unfreeze. How I got frozen, I don't know. Alrighty. We are back. Second half of the show. What is good, Matt? Dilly, bro. Alrighty. So we are going to jump right back in to the second half of the show. If you guys missed the first half, we had some interesting topics. Everything from covering Duval to to clowning on the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones. We kind of discussed Pro Bowl weekend and how we feel that the Pro Bowl should maybe go about things moving forward. We did close out the first half with discussing what the future would look like, with Mahomes possibly potentially getting a three-peat. Should he get a three-peat? Is he close to that Tom Brady GOAT conversation or not? Here on the second half, we are going to kick things off with a cheers to me, cheers to you, all the Rumboyz and girls want to do, dilly dilly. Where's my wait, fuck.
Dilly dilly, y'all.
We continue our segment titled GOAT Conversations with Philadelphia Eagles running back and fan favorite Saquon.
I was wondering where you were going with this one.
Barkley is also chasing greatness on the other side of the ball next Sunday, as he is 148 yards away shy of Terrell Davis' single season rushing record. That is a record that includes regular season plus playoffs. His single season rushing record, Terrell Davis, of 2,476. And many are willing to debate, is Saquon the best running back in NFL history? How do we feel about this one? This one analyzed a little bit differently than the quarterback position. Mike.
No. Plain and simple. No. Could he be considered having one of the best seasons of all time? Yes. Are you going to tell me that he's the best running back of all time? God, no. I don't even want to hear this shit. To me, here's the problem. There's way too many. There's too many ways to analyze it on the running back side, because with a quarterback, it's you have Super Bowl championships and blah blah, and that's just like point guards, or you know what I'm trying to say. The problem with the running back position is you can say, I would take arguments for Saquon. You can take arguments for Barry. You can take arguments for Walter. You can take arguments for Emmett. You can take arguments for Dorsett. You can take arguments for Sayers. You can take arguments for, you can keep going. Campbell. You can take arguments for
OJ Simpson because he has a better Netflix stock. I'm dead.
Dickerson. You can take arguments for OJ. There's not going to be a running back where you're like, oh, he has 5 rings or he's got 6 rings.
No, you're not going to get into a ring conversation with running backs.
You're not getting into that conversation. Could you say that Saquon is going to end up with one of the best seasons ever? Yes. I just don't like hearing the GOAT conversation for Saquon yet. If he was to back this up and do it again, yes. And I'm glad Taco, like you said, for a different reason, I'm glad Taco's not here for this one. Yes, I do understand that Saquon had a gigantic handicap. He was freaking hands tied behind his back, freaking, because where he started his career. It's not like he was able to freaking be in the playoffs his entire career, or, therefore, like, close to the playoffs his entire career, like an Emmett. Emmett came in and was on a balling ass team right away. He's more like, Dion, or not Dion. Well, I don't even know why I said Dion. Could you imagine Barry being on a team that was in the playoffs like the Lions are this year and last year?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Like, we would be having the same conversation earlier in his career. And AP, yeah, I know I forgot AP, but AP didn't have the playoffs. I get it. There's so many teams that you could have done this to, or players. Personally, I think it's too early to discuss Saquon as the GOAT. I do agree that you could say he could have the best season of all time, but you also comparing him to Terrell Davis irritates me a little bit, but that's for a whole nother conversation.
I'm pointing out. I'm only going off of the stats.
No, you're pointing out the stats, and I agree with that. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I don't know. I do not know if I think Terrell Davis is a Hall of Fame running back.
Okay. Wow, that's crazy. Because TD definitely, yeah. You mean Saquon?
No, I don't know if Terrell Davis didn't do it long enough, in my opinion.
I believe he's gold jacket already.
No, he is.
Yeah.
I don't personally, in my opinion, I don't know if I would have given him the vote.
That's fucking insane.
But if he's in there, Saquon has to be in there.
Even with so yeah, Saquon is going to be Hall of Fame. He's going to put a cap on it, should the Eagles win next Sunday. Not saying that they are. We are not dropping predictions on this episode. But should the Eagles win, yes, okay, automatic Hall of Fame. Do I go on a record and say best running back ever? Fuck no. Okay. Hall of Fame, I'm going to say just because, to Mike's point, hey, TD got in, Leafs bring up Sean Alexander, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Skill position players, little less scrutiny, I feel like, especially at the running back position. Just my personal opinion. To me, there are definitely better running backs. To me, I think that at this position, you can very easily have the conversation of, landing spots and et cetera, so on and so forth. I feel like Saquon gets a default because it's like, oh, well, like all of his amazing seasons with the Giants, and then his story of, like what he had to go through. And then like, oh, you go to the Eagles and then, you break this, record now. You break Terrell Davis's record. You break, Eric Dickerson's record, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The position is too volatile and has such a crazy short, like a crazy shelf life that it's very difficult. I'm sorry, Saquon, you could get a fucking ring this year, break the records, and I'm still like, oh, what Derrick Henry did was hell fucking impressive because he had a running quarterback, a mobile quarterback. Like, sorry, you didn't really know. Not many teams are threatened by Jalen Hurts. I don't know if the Philadelphia Eagles don't have Saquon, that they make it to this point, especially with everything that happened within the locker or that has happened throughout the season, with the locker room, et cetera, coaching, et cetera. How much longer they choose to keep Sirianni and keep trying to run that thing back. I guess as long as he keeps fucking winning games, getting in playoff appearances and Super Bowl appearances, they keep him. But even still, that extent does worry me, does trouble me a little bit. He said threatened by Jalen. You mean tush push at the one? I mean, essentially that's what that's Jalen Hurts' fucking legacy at this goddamn point. Hell, should Philadelphia win, there's no way that Hurts gets a fucking Super Bowl MVP out of it. There's no way. There's no way. Like he would have to carry the team on his back. It's gonna be Saquon. Should it lean that way?
Let me ask you this, without going too far into our predictions. Right. Saquon has 120 to 150 yards rushing, but Hurts gets the 2 rushing touchdowns because of the tush push and throws for 1 more. They win. He's getting it.
And even still, I don't see that possibility. I don't see it.
I agree with you that I don't think
final game in the biggest game. Final game in the biggest game. Saquon ain't taking no dives at the fucking one, bro.
I'm not saying he ain't taking no dives. I'm just saying like get to the 5 and then
the whole locker room has been centered around Saquon. If anyone in that locker room was like, we would have still gotten here without you, they're fucking bugging.
Oh they're dumb. And I'm not saying what I want to say because I have something I want to say next week. But I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
This team is there because of that. It's just Hurts is getting the benefit, and I get that. But I compare Hurts, and I don't mean this in a slander. I compare Hurts to a Jerome Bettis the year that he won and retired. Willie Parker got them down to the 5, and then Jerome pushed them over the edge. There's no slander against those touchdowns. It's just a factor of that offense.
No, okay, no, I understand that, and I see your analogy. Yeah, no, for me, I am sorry, Saquon. I just. He's going to go down as a legend, irregardless. He is going to go down, as one of the best running backs, irregardless. I could very well see people putting him, even maybe even top 5, just because records aside, potential of winning a ring aside, you were such a big impact on one fucking team that you got them across the finish line when the season previous they completely fell off the fucking wagon towards the end when it meant the most. And honestly, they probably would have done the same thing this year if it weren't for you.
To me, he's the biggest factor on 2 teams because you saw what happened to the team that lost him and chose to choose the quarterback,
Fair.
Daniel Jones, over him. And now, and don't get me wrong, I don't think we would be saying this 15 years ago. And the reason I say that has nothing to do with the running back position. We didn't have the camera and the eyes into a office of a GM pre-draft like we do now with HBO with the off-season version of Hard Knocks. Without all that camera work that we had with Joe Schoen and had with the owner sitting there saying, I'd rather have Daniel Jones, but I'm not going to be able to sleep if, and I saw the clip the other day. I'm not going to be able to sleep if he goes to the Eagles. Well, you let him go to the Eagles.
No, 100%, 100%. We got plenty of time here. I do want to talk about the nuclear fallout of the 2 losing teams from last week. Both very, very, very different dynamics because on one side you have Washington where it's like, oh, we have this promising rookie and we have cap space. But then on the other side, you have Josh Allen who just can't seem to get over the hump of, Paul's Patrick Mahomes. He can't get the monkey off his back. It's Adesanya Pereira type shit. Thoughts on those 2 teams' outlook moving forward. Let's start in the NFC. In the NFC.
All right, I'm not going to talk about Jaden because Jaden, I think we saw what Jaden. We saw the future of your team, and I completely get that. I just think they needed. I think you guys were a year too early. I'll be honest. And
way ahead of schedule.
There's nothing wrong with that. I know you are high on. I cannot say his name right, so I'm just going to say it. Mikey. I know you were high on Mikey from the beginning. The DB. I think bringing Lattimore in was a wash. I don't think it helped. Yes. I don't think it hurt. I think you guys need to work on the back end of the secondary. Yes, Frankie Louvu is a freaking beast. Don't get me wrong. You got the inside 2 guys on
that penalty over penalty, that false start. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I do think you need help. I do think you guys need a edge rusher. I do think you need that. Could you get it in free agency? Yes. Could you get it in the draft? Yes. On offense, there's one thing I need from this team, and you already know where I'm going because who I like on this team. Give me a complimentary piece to Terry McLaurin. So yes. Terry McLaurin, we need. I don't care if you go out and draft a high-end guy. I don't care if you bring in a high-end guy, because Terry can be the 1A, but he can also be the 1B. I don't care. Just open it up for Terry, open it up for the offense. I am a little worried about Brian Robinson Jr. I'm not going to lie. However, I think Eckler's done. I just don't see it.
Yeah, Eckler's done. Chris Rodriguez is back there and he's ready to go.
Yeah, he's ready to go. But the biggest thing for me for this team is not losing Cliff and another year behind Dan Quinn. I think just that in general, minus all the
Peter still gets to cook.
Minus all the team aspects. Let Dan have another year under the belt. It was his first year in Washington. It was Cliff's first year with Daniels. Daniels was a rookie. First year with Cliff with that team in general. Let all that marinate for another year, and let's see what we get in 26 or 25 and 26.
For on the NFC side of things, again, way ahead of schedule. I do agree with you. We were definitely. I won't say way too early because I can't be too early to something good. You know, you can't be way too early to something good. I think that being, too early, it plays out in our favor. We put up a season that's going to, display to free agents and prospects that, hey, this is a place that you can come and you can be comfortable. Ownership and leadership displaying, the culture shift, the culture change, and their ability to make that happen overnight. A beautiful, beautiful damn thing. It makes that appealing to should be players, would be players. So definitely excited about that part. Excited about the cap space. I can't remember the last time from a financial aspect that we saw that we saw a team exceed expectations from the previous year, have this much cap space available, and have the culture installed all at the same time. Jaden Daniels is only going to continue to elevate and continue to get better. It's only going to be a matter of time before he is able to get over that hump. Could he possibly get one during his rookie contract? I think he could get a Lombardi during his rookie contract. There's a lot going for this team. Off-season workouts and off-season preparation with the guys that are already there and the guys that are going to stay and not retire is going to be paramount. And how that builds up and how that works out is going to be paramount. And how they lead is going to be paramount. It's sounding like that a couple guys are already like, yeah, no, fuck that, run it back. It sounds like a couple guys are already willing to be like, yeah, no, you can keep me on my same paper, or maybe give me like a little bit more, but not too much crazy. Let's run it back. So that is definitely exciting. That is definitely enticing as a fan. It does make me feel bad, however, when we look at the other equation on the other side of the coin, when we jump over to the AFC. Mike, take us away.
So I know I've said this on air multiple times. I know I've said it to you off camera a couple times. I don't think Josh Allen's the problem.
Obviously, yeah.
Can he not win right now? Yes. But I would not have been shocked that on the Monday after those games that why can't I think of his name right now? The coach.
McDermott.
I said I think McDermott is going to be that coach that just can't get over the hump. And sooner or later, with Josh Allen, with everything going all in, getting Mari Cooper and all that, I would not have been shocked that if it doesn't surprise me they didn't do it after the Chiefs game. If they would have lost to the Baltimore Ravens, I would not have been shocked that if we woke up that Monday and McDermott was fired. I really believe that. I do think the seat is going to get warmer because You do have Josh.
Do you really think it can get warmer than what it's already been?
Yes, I do. I think it's going to be I think it's been warm. I think it's going to be hot. I don't think his seat has been hot. I think it's going to be hot. And JJ Watt said something perfectly about Josh Allen. After the game, Burleson said something about, people hating the Chiefs and they're going to just regret because, the history or the history that could be brought up and all that. And then it was brought up about Josh. And JJ said, it's like other sports. It's not his fault. And yes, I'm a Chiefs fan, but it's the truth. It's not his fault that he got drafted in the Mahomes era. And what JJ brought up was it wasn't tennis players' fault that, there might be the top 5 in the world, but they had to play against Serena. It wasn't certain golfers' fault that they could Phil Mickelson had 3-4 more majors? Yes, but he happened to be golfing against freaking Tiger Woods for 15 goddamn years when Tiger was going off.
I mean, same thing with Peyton Manning. I mean, Peyton
had the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of Patrick Ewing had to go against Jordan, and Charles and Carl had to go all of that. Olajuwon happened to get 2 rings the 2 years that freaking Jordan thought he could hit home runs. So there's a lot to say to that factor. I have always said there's something missing with this Buffalo's team. Me and you have both said that. There's something missing on that defensive side of the ball. Yes, they have Milano. Yes, they had certain guys on the secondary. Yes, they had Ed Oliver. But they didn't, and Von Miller is past his prime, I understand that. But they didn't have a lockdown. They didn't have a guy that would come out and, make an absolute play when they had to. They didn't even have that on offense besides Josh, and Josh needed that. The other thing I will say before I throw it over to you, I think the one thing that they screwed up last Sunday, they did not use James Cook right in the second half.
I could agree with that.
And whose fault is that? That's McDermott's fault.
That is McDermott's fault. I can't agree with the lack of utilization for Cook. I mean, we kind of poked and prodded and joked about that last week on last week's episode. Feel free to go back and check that one out.
Yep.
It really begins to beg the question of what necessarily do they need to add? Does Buffalo need to, is it a defensive piece realistically that maybe is missing? Do they need that it factor, deep in the secondary, like a Ed Reed back in the day, to maybe, be I think that's more so what we're looking at when it comes to Buffalo, push them over the edge. Splash move. Amari didn't do squat. I was going to actually bring that up. I noticed that you said that Buffalo could use a wide receiver. I don't necessarily think that they do just because of Josh Allen's ability to be able to elevate whoever the fuck is put around him. So I'm not necessarily too concerned as maybe most personalities would be in regards to Josh Allen and receiving core and how that's put together. I am more so concerned about defense wins championships. You need to have pieces on that side of the defense that can make fucking stops and make important stops. Mm-hmm. It was brought up in the chat, Spag saved a corner blitz game, saved a corner blitz game on the line. What a mad scientist because Kincaid is a terrorist. Come on. Spags, call a damn good game, did his thing on the defensive side of the ball. There's no reason why things defensively could have not have gone that way for Buffalo. Buffalo did not create turnovers. You look at the NFC Championship game, Philly created turnovers and they won that battle. You look at the divisional game, Washington won the turnover battle. That's what wins in the playoffs. You got to be able to create turnovers. You got to be able to turn the fucking ball over. You got to be able to make key critical stops. You got to be able to stop explosive players. All lessons learned in the NFC Championship game. You know, Buffalo, you guys have been to that, been in the AFC Championship many of times. So in my personal opinion, just to kind of come up short when it seemed like everything was going right for them, I really, really, really blame a lot of that on the defense. Got to contain Mahomes. We've seen teams hold it close against this team. We know that this is how Kansas City has won every fucking game this year. And I'm not going to utilize this time, to be like, oh, well, the ref's this and the ref's that. While there is some of that to be true, fucking stop them so that it doesn't happen.
Julian Edelman said it the best.
Like, fucking stop them so it doesn't happen. Take the game out of the refs' hands. Luckily, their next game they have to play is the Super Bowl. They are playing against a team, a defense that can do it, an offense that can fucking go back-to-back on multiple drives and not have to burn anyone else's energy but one player. I challenge you to go back and watch those Terrell Davis Super Bowls. Because we could be looking at something like that in this game coming up next Sunday. In terms of the nuclear fallout for the Buffalo Bills, I don't want to use the words window closed, the expression window closed, because you still have Josh Allen, who is one of the most explosive fucking playmakers in the NFL, in the league, who does elevate everyone beyond measure. At a certain point, constantly losing, especially in that round, fucking it weighs on you. Can he continue to be a leader of men? I know so. I think so. Absolutely. Can the pieces be brought in around him to really build a superstar team? They need to. Brought in some new ownership, kind of some younger guys, some minority ownership, with Vince Carter and I want to say Tracy McGrady. Yes, Carter and McGrady. Those guys will be able to appeal to some of the younger players. When you got a personality like a Keon Coleman, kind of coming in the locker room. They got to get it right. This year was a sham. This year was fucked up for them. It sucks that it came down to a call. Should never even put yourselves in that damn position. The two teams I feel like from the AFC that probably should have been there. One got bounced in the divisional round because they had to face, and possibly move on to the conference round, and the other, knowing what we knew all season that could have possibly been a fucking outcome with the Kansas City Chiefs, allowed that possibility to become true by just not blowing them the fuck out the water. And it's very difficult to blow a team out like the Kansas City Chiefs out the water. So the Philadelphia Eagles, you got your work cut out for you next Sunday. And I'll leave it at that. When we talk about the nuclear fallout from both teams. Washington gets a little bit closer to the 8 ball. Buffalo gets a little further. I don't know how many players are going to want to be like, yeah, I'm down to go to the AFC Championship, but also get my back blown out. It becomes very, very, very difficult for them when we talk free agency, when we talk, the draft. Glad that we went ahead. We brought that up. Keeping on Super Bowl talk, because that is the biggest event happening in sports right now for like the next 2 weeks. You guys can say whatever you want about any other league or any other sport, what they got coming up. This is the biggest thing. This is what's going to attract the most viewers. Speaking of viewers, many are saying they are boycotting this year's Super Bowl as it seems fatigue between these two particular teams, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs, is setting in among the general public. What say ye to those opposing this year's matchup? What do you say about the whole farce in general?
Get over it. Your team's not in it. Greatness. The fact that a team has gone to 3 years in a row, 4 out of 5, whatever you want to say about the Chiefs. We didn't hear this last year. We didn't hear this complaint last year when the Niners made it again after the second to last 3 years.
No, we still heard it last year.
Yeah, but we heard it because of the Chiefs, not because of the Niners.
No, we still heard it. I feel like we still heard it.
I don't think we did about the
Both
Niners.
sides.
It was more because I think it's more because of the Chiefs more than the Eagles. But to that point, I think it's people. One, how do I say this? My dad's buddy put it perfectly last year. We all hated seeing Brady make it all the time and all that. He's a Chiefs fan. He told me, he's like, I hated it, whatever. But I love being hated now because we're like in the sense of, even though people don't want to see us there, don't want to see the Chiefs over and over and over, you said it about the Bills. Then beat them. If a team if you don't want to see the Chiefs in it every year, I get the fans can get a little bit bored of it, but that's what. And then I think it's in the prisoner of the moment, though. I think when you look back on it, you'll go, "Oh my God, this team did this or whatever." Like I've even looked back on it now and go, "Man, the Patriots were that good." Because you see what they're doing now. They were that good for so long. Who cares if it was because of Bill? Who cares if it was because of Brady? They were just that good for so long. You look at the early 90s. Yes, we've joked around about them all night long, but you look and go, damn, the Cowboys were good for that. And then you see what they are now, and it's like, all right, they need to get back to that. I'm not saying they're going to, but you got to look at what's going on right now with the fact of the hindsight of social media, the hindsight of, the way media is these days. They're going to play into every narrative with having to also produce television and produce storylines for 2 freaking weeks, where it used to be you concentrate on the game and all this. Now you have all the, every Fox, every ESPN, every NFL network. And now you have every YouTube channel. You have, Barstool, and you have all these other major you have all these media outlets that have to come up with content for 14 days where they're going to nitpick on every little thing. And if one thing they can nitpick on is, we shouldn't see this team over and over, they're going to do it. And I understand they're going to do it, but that's why I say with the fans of the teams that didn't make it, get over it.
If you want, you start building your best bets right now. Okay. For me personally, I understand what you're saying about, hey, your team's not in it, get over it. I don't think that it's as much of that with this particular matchup as we may think. Whenever there was those interruption years in between, Brady constantly making it to the playoffs, or even just seeing Brady, kind of face like a new team from like the NFC and like a new look, I think that people got excited about that. I think that people do get excited about new blood or seeing something new. I think that is more fascinating in today's day and age than I think that's more fascinating and more attractive to the human mind, especially because we did go through the Brady era, than a 3-peat. Like I think that should the 3-peat be accomplished, that people are going to be all the fuck over it. People are going to be like, oh my gosh, like, yes, like this is amazing, this is great, yada yada yada. I think that should the Chiefs make it into like a 4th Super Bowl, people, we're really gonna see the fatigue. We really are gonna see like viewership drop. It is the fact that yes, it is the Eagles again. We kind of heard that a little bit last year with like we get another San Francisco 49ers, Super Bowl appearance. There is something to respect about a team being able to make it again, especially within a short amount of time. And I understand that teams are built. It's called a Super Bowl window for a reason. You're given about 2-ish to 3 years to try, kind of maybe get in and figure it out for a reason. The viewing public wants an underdog story so fucking bad. And we've been on the cusp of it for the last 2-ish, 3-ish years, where we could have maybe finally seen Buffalo after all they went through in the 90s get one. This previous year, Washington, first time rookie ever, and all the narratives that went on with that. Detroit never having gotten one. Everyone, even me, during that divisional game, I was excited for my own team, of course. But let's face it, if you told me that Washington would have been in that position a year ago, I would have been like, you're drunk. And if you would have told me, hey, but Detroit's going to be in that position, I'd be like, go Detroit. So there was a little bit of a bittersweetness to that. Cincinnati, a couple of years ago, and then, the Rams, with their runs. I think that people especially in the biggest game, especially football nerds, like football diehards, like we really, really love that type shit. I hate Super Bowl parties. I fucking hate Super Bowl parties because it's usually that's the time when all the casuals who have not watched the whole fucking season are now getting along and they're like, oh my gosh, and like they're talking during the actual fucking play, but meanwhile watching the damn commercials.
Yep.
And they're only there for the halftime show. This year's Super Bowl, I do have concerns. Kendrick has had an amazing fucking year. There are people, especially within the hip-hop community, that did want Wayne. So like the halftime show got attacked. Now you have the two teams that are competing in it, kind of like there's fatigue from both of them.
And Drake fans are boycotting.
I don't really give a fuck about them.
I know you don't, but I'm just saying it's something to add to it.
Like when I look at is the Super Bowl still going to do numbers? Yes. Would I be shocked if we compare it to last year versus this year and it's maybe not the same? I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever. Would I be shocked if viewership spiked during the halftime, but during actual gameplay is like low? I wouldn't be shocked at all. I could very well see that playing out. So this out of most recent memory Super Bowls, this is probably the one from like the business standpoint, the marketing standpoint, and everything that I do worry about the most. People are going to watch it because let's face it, fucker, you've complained all year. You complained all off season, waiting for football to come back, offered this moment. And then also they thirst you out for a whole week of no football. You get the Pro Bowl and Senior Bowl, which are all boring. And you're just like, no, like I'm just ready for it. For this week, they're going to make you miss it. This whole week, they're going to make you miss it. And they're going to make you watch it on Sunday. You're going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to live stream. I'm going to broadcast. I'm going to talk shit. But is there also deep down, even though I am one of the millions of viewers that are going to be watching it, deep down, is there a little bit, we didn't appreciate Rams Bengals nearly the fuck enough. Nearly the fuck enough. Like, there is still going to be a deep down part of me that is like if the Eagles win, I feel like I saw a meme where it's like if the Eagles win, we all move on with our lives.
Yep.
If the
I
Chiefs
saw
win,
that too.
We're like okay, cool, like a 3-peat, So like it's we love the Senior Bowl because football is a 365 business, unlike many other sports. Unlike many other sports, you're kind of able to check in, check out, so to speak, unless like you're truly a diehard of those. Like with football, even casuals look forward to the draft. Even the most casual NFL fan still knows more about the NFL than like the most casual
baseball
NBA or football fan or anything else. Like I know I'm in that boat when it comes to this one. I'm a diehard football fan. Other sports, I'm like, I know enough to get by. So like football, UFC, boxing, MLB has surpassed the NBA for me. I can't even I tried to turn on the NBA last night, just to have something to watch. And I was like, everything was blowouts. And then Ja was fucking out. So like, it was like, there was no point in watching the Grizzlies. Like, it's like,
Something's wrong with the NBA.
Whatever, Leafs. So yeah, I do think that despite even if viewership is comparable to last year, I do think that there is going to be that underlying tone. I think that social media erupts with how pissed they are over it, despite still watching it. All right, Mike, let's get into best bets. We do have UFC Saudi Arabia. We do have Duke, North Carolina, which North Carolina's not doing great, but college basketball game of like that is like when that game happens, that is like, oh, it's tip off college basketball season. Like we're locked in. That's kind of like the big giving telltale sign. What are your thoughts on the weekend? Best bets for the weekend, NBA, NHL, everything.
Let's see. Right now, I'm gonna go with the UFC. For UFC, I think I'm in agreement with you. Izzy's my guy. It's hard not to take him at. I know it's minus 155, but it's hard not to take him there. The other one that I want to take, and this might be controversial in the sense of the run-up that he's getting in this one, and I want to click over to my NHL while I'm doing this. I just want to make sure I have this right. I want to make sure I have the odds right. Okay, so I have that right. I am taking Michael Page because even though Saeed is a beast, Michael Page does better when his back is against the wall. And I think Michael Page is going to pull this one off. It's not going to be pretty, but I think Michael Page could pull this off, and he is in the plus. So I would go Michael Page on that one. In hockey, I am actually going to take. I know it's minus. They're both minus 110 just because it is the way it is. It's a push right now. The Rangers just traded for TJ Miller. He's probably not going to play tomorrow, but I am taking the Rangers on the road against Boston. They're both minus 110, but I am taking the Rangers on the money line there. And the other one I would take on that one is I would take another minus 112. I know Robbie's posted about him because it is his quote unquote one of his hometowns. It's hard not to take Washington Capitals at home. Minus 112.
I was like, quote unquote, adopted. I was born fucking there.
I know. Adopted was the wrong word.
That was politically correct. That was wrong. Grammatically, that was the wrong word.
Okay. I'm taking the Washington Capitals.
And he's fighting Shara. He's not fighting City. He's fighting Shara.
Not Shara. Yeah, that's what I meant. All right, Europe.
All righty. So I am going to second you on the NHL play with the Capitals. I do have Capitals over Winnipeg. Haven't bet hockey in like fucking months. So, we're just going to jump in with the hometown feel. So that's how we're going to run that. I am going to take Duke by 13.5. just because we're not playing great ball right now for the Tar Heels. Can't decipher what the fuck is going on with the boys right now. There in college basketball, I am also taking Tennessee on the money line just to kind of soften the blow of that spread, just in case UNC randomly chooses to like fucking pop out and cover that one. Hopefully I can make some back off make some off of Tennessee early in the day to not even have to worry about that later on. In NBA, my picks for NBA, I am going to take the Spurs by 1 up against the Miami Heat. Hearing that De'Aaron Fox might want to go to the Spurs, could that maybe be this year or next year, however the fuck that works out. And then also like Heat with the whole Jimmy Butler debacle, ill. So not really too fond of the Heat right now with everything going on. Although that game is looking like it is going to be close. And then I am going to take the Lakers to cover 9.5, even though it is against the New York Knicks. We've been standing strong. We've been standing strong this season. So I'm gonna see what we can do against the Knicks. I do get that we just blew out the Wizards the other night, but it's the fucking Wizards. Everyone blows them out. They're 17.5 dogs on the money line up against the Timberwolves tomorrow. So that's not really a great analysis. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna ride with the Lakers to cover 9.5. Fuck it. And then for UFC, I am really only going to be picking the 2 main fights off of that card in terms of betting purposes. Obviously, we know that I am going to roll with Izzy on the money line. He's making his return against Amavov. So that should be an interesting bout. I do think that Izzy's been out long enough to where he'll be well rested and be fine. While you take Michael Venom Page, I am taking Shara. He's that man sees through your soul with his eye.
With his eye.
So I am going to go Shara. Would it be nice to see Michael Venom Page, pull off, a feat such as that? Sure, but I am gonna go Shara. As for the rest of that card, Said's gonna win. I do have that. Plavich is gonna win. That's definitely gonna be a thing. Rosenstruck's been in the goddamn game forever. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna limit my picks to that on the UFC card.
Okay.
Ja. I get the Pavlovich has no take, but Rosenstruck does either, and he's been fighting for fucking ever, bro. I just don't. I don't see it. Pavlovich is such a heavy favorite on the line too, as well. We want Shamil. Let's see. That is a super early morning fight, and he's a heavy favorite. There's nothing that there's nothing that other than just having a win on the card. That'd be the only reason why I would take that. I'm not going to take the minus 340 no. Or what was he? Minus 355 favorite. Yeah, no. You said for the memes, I'm dead. Daniel, what's up? Other than that, Mike, any closing words? Any closing thoughts?
No. You got UFC tomorrow morning. You got Senior Bowl. Enjoy the last week without. Well, you got that, all that. And then next week football, and then after that, it is time to relax for a little bit. But I'm gonna miss football.
Absolutely, I'm definitely gonna miss football. Show next week. We will be dropping predictions. We will be getting into, kind of the aftermath of the Senior Bowl and kind of react to that, getting ourselves ready for draft season. But of course, we'll also have some Super Bowl predictions for you guys next Friday. I'm Rumboyz Robbie. That's Drop the Mic FF. Cheers to me. Cheers to you, all the Rumboys and girls. What to do? We love and appreciate all of you. The world is a fucking mess right now, so love and appreciate each other. Cherish each other. Keep each other close. Keep each other safe. Cheers to me. Cheers to you, all the Rumboys and girls. What to do? Dilly dilly. Arrrr. We love you.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.